Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's DaikenXDan in here, and today I got more Genshin Impact news for you all. And today we're going to be talking about something special because it's talking about the contents of the final closed beta. So CN had a official pre-live event stream for the CN server, and basically we got some summaries of what's to be expected inside of the final closed beta for Genshin Impact. So I got some summaries here and I want to go over it with you guys. By the way, we did get a release date window for the final closed beta, and it's stated to be in July for us. So we didn't get an exact date, but it's going to be July, and I'm expecting early July just because of the signups that are ending mid-June. So because the signups are ending mid-June, I'm believing it to be early July for that. So anyway, let's go ahead and get inside this information. This information is coming from a person from the forum, so shout outs to Sleifnir. Thank you for all the info. So shout outs to them and the other people that also provided some summaries as well that I'm taking bits of information from that actually like bunched it together so we can actually, get it all in one batch. So let's go and take a look at it. So it says the live stream just ended a few minutes ago. They're not sure if any people know the stream summarized. The stream gives in closed beta test 3 many ways to obtain materials are put into open beta world. For example, Mora and EXP books, those you get from domains in closed beta 2s, are replaced by battles in the open world. The battle location is not fixed and will be refreshed randomly. So before, and if you want to go inside and get Mora or get like experience and stuff like that, like experience for like certain upgrades, then you would have to go inside these dungeons, and some of these dungeons change what they had inside of them daily. So you would have to play every day depending on which items you were trying to get. So maybe your item will be in the dungeon on Wednesday or something like that, but now they're going to have more easy access to Mora and these experiences they were saying outside of the domain. So maybe those domains may be taken out completely, or maybe I'm pretty sure they work too hard on them to be going. So maybe there's going to change the type of items that you're going to get from them and make it to where this is how you're going to get the majority of these particular items within the game. So more quality of life themes, because people have been saying that, hey, Mora is a problem to get. You have to farm these dungeons, and you couldn't always just go inside the dungeons. There was actually a like a stamina. It was called like Resign. So you needed this stamina that refilled after a certain amount of time. Sort of like if you play like any other gacha game and you have your like energy levels, it was something that refilled over time, and if you didn't have that, then you couldn't go inside the dungeons to actually farm for these items that you needed, like the money, the Mora, or these other things that you needed for upgrades. So it was a very big hindrance on that aspect. The other thing, new mechanics for Geo, kind of like shield defense. They don't know how it works, but I actually looked at it and I'm sure I know how it works. So basically what happens, you can see the screenshots here, is when you hit the enemies with the element of the other particular character and then you use the Geo element now produces like a particle that places on the ground, and you can pick that up, and when you pick it up you actually get a shield of that element. So you can get a fire shield, an ice shield, water shield, whatever, and you basically get a defense of that element. And someone else noted in something else that I was reading that there was fire on the ground, I believe, and they were walking through the fire with the fire shield, and they actually didn't take damage, because you can take damage for standing in area effect fires that even you create yourselves. So you actually got shielded from that. So I'm not sure if you're completely resistant to it or you just get an additional benefit for defense. The thing about Geo is Geo was never really that strong inside closed beta 2. It was introduced in closed beta 2, but it was never that strong. It was like think of the element neutral type at the moment, but it was more defensive in that standard, because when you use Geo and you got the Geo status on the enemy, it basically reduced their elemental damage upon you. So it was more like a defensive style, and like they're making it even more defensive. They're making it more polished in the sense, because now you're going to have these shields that you can get from the enemies, along with already decreasing what they can do. You can decrease elements even further with these shields for a period of time. So that's going to be really strong. So Geos are now looking a lot more better than what they were before, and of course, the character even got buffed, the one that uses the Geo. We're going to talk about her in a second and how they actually made her a lot better than what she was, because she wasn't that good, but we're going to talk about it in just a second. So I am pleased to announce also that in Closed Beta 3, the main quest will be continued to update and more characters will be available. So you can see this new character right here, La Suganora. So new characters, and this guy, we've seen this guy before. He was actually in the story. You've seen him in Closed Beta 2. He wasn't playable. So this girl, we never seen her, and I never seen this guy. So these are new characters. People expect them to be playable just because of how they were introduced in the story. People expect them to be playable at some point. Their designs are just like too elaborate not to be playable at some point. So people are expecting these characters to be playable, which I am as well. So I'm definitely hoping for that. And this is the new character that got shown off not too long ago. I talked about him before. I made a video about him. Chongyong is the new Ice Elemental Sword character in the game. He's eating a little icicle. And you can see his moves right here. So he has his basic attack. Looks really cool. Then he has his hold attack right here. So it's like, it looked like the standard like swing one where you can like move it around, but it costs stamina for as long as you hold it. And then we can use some of his attacks here. So this is his E, and then we see his special, his ult right here, which is the ice swords. So it seems like both of his moves gives him some ice capability. Not every character has ice capabilities, or like their element capability on both of their skills. Sometimes it's just on their ultimate, sometimes it's, you know, probably just on their E, and sometimes it's also on their auto attacks. So he doesn't seem like to have it on his auto attacks, but as we can see here, his E does leave some type of thing on the ground. We don't know what that actually does yet because we don't have any descriptions for his moves, but it looks really cool. So I'm just glad that we're getting a little bit more out of these shots, because we did have a little bit before, but we're starting to see a little bit more of him now. But yeah, these characters looking great. I'm liking the style of these characters. The game just looks beautiful, guys. Come on, we're all waiting for this game. It looks gorgeous. More stuff here. So new mechanics in the Abyss and new enemies. So a little better shot for this is actually right here. So the new mechanic is actually being shown off right here, as you can see. Not really much I can really say about that, but new mechanics from enemies are going to be present, so that's going to be good. More things for us to do. The Abyss is really cool. I'm pretty sure they're going to be enhancing the Abyss as well. But as you can see here, new enemy types right here, as we can see. So this guy, and like I guess some different type of bandits and stuff. More shots of him. This is from the CN server, and it's showing the new buff for the character right there, which we're going to talk about in a second. Like I said, nice little gif right there. You can see the buff right there, and then more shots of the characters and stuff like that. So yeah, so new mechanics and stuff. Also new artwork. So the characters are going to have different artwork for them. So we've been having like the standard artwork, but they actually are changing the artwork. So we have Klee with her new artwork. Yeah, this is really good. I'm loving this. This is looking really good. Also, new animation changes as well to the Wish animation. So the Wish is also the gacha of the game. So the gacha, if you looked at my previous video, I have a video for how the gacha looked before, but now you can see it like it rains down from the sky and then it like shoots. So it's a little bit different than it was before. So I can't wait to see. Also, it's a different color. You see purple here. I just remember yellow. Now there's like different colors. So the colors are going to mean a little bit more, because there are different rarities of units in this game. Characters are different rarities. So I guess they're going to try to make that a little bit more distinctive now, which is pretty good. Also, Klee has a new animation for her super. It looks adorable. She like puffs it up and it like explodes. So it looks a lot more polished, because Klee was one of the characters in the game for Closed Beta 2 that actually didn't have like many voices. I think she only had a voice for probably the Chinese voices. So some characters just didn't have a voice in the English, and so you had to switch the language to like hear like any type of voice for that character, or they'll just be silent. There were a few characters like that because they weren't completely done yet. So maybe we will get that to be done in the Closed Beta 3. Maybe we'll have more of the English voices. Even in the story, that was an issue in the story too. So when you got to the part of the story where this guy showed up, you couldn't see, you couldn't hear the voices no more. It was just silent. So I had to switch the voices over to Chinese in order to hear some type of dialogue for the cutscenes, because it was just weird just looking at the mouse move and like absolutely nothing coming out of the mouth. So I had to switch it just for that, you understand? But yeah, so these are all the things that are happening. And like I said, we do have some news. So I don't know how to say her name that well. So Nin Guang or something like that. So she has something that has changed. So the thing that changed about her, let me just go back to the pictures here. So basically, she has these orbs that come around her. You can see them right there a little bit. You see them a little bit better here, actually. So when she does her basic attack, she will get these orbs that hover around her now. And if she uses her charge attack, she can use those orbs that she could gather around her within her charge attack. So the more you have around her, the more damage I'm guessing her charge attack will do, depending on how many auto attacks you did before you did the charge attack. Now, remember, charge attacks do take stamina, so you just got to be able to basically manage your stamina, and you should be able to use this effectively for like basic attack charge combos in order to get good damage with this unit. So they're definitely trying to make her a little bit better. Like I said, she was a little bit underwhelming at first, but now with the buffing to Geo as a whole, and then of course they're buffing the unit, she may become a lot more valuable on people's teams and stuff like that. So that's definitely good. Just to make sure this list of changes here, to make sure that we didn't miss anything. Enemies have new attacks like Ice Cage, so there's going to be new attacks from enemies. That's pretty cool. First look at Ice character Chong. Yeah, so we saw more Chong. He has an AoE effect that stays between character swaps that will buff all male characters. Interesting. So that little circle I was talking about that was on the ground that he made, apparently it's an effect that buff all male characters. That's very interesting that it buffs only male characters. I wonder if that was a mistranslation or something, or they misheard it. That's very interesting. I would want to hear it. I want to see that for myself. That's actually very interesting. Elemental shields, as we talked about before, for the Geo units are defensive, that surrounds the player, protects the players from types of elements. Fire shields was demonstrated, and players could walk through the lit grass without taking damage, based on the type of characters you are using and the enemy attacking. Every month, if you clear the Abyss, which is basically like this game's tower system, I have YouTube video on that as well if you want to take a look at that inside of my Genshin Impact playlist, where I showcase the Abyss and how it changes and stuff like that. So every month you clear, you'll get a unique buff. And also now you can queue into dungeons using multiplayer to play with others, using users to fight harder dungeons. That's very good. Also, apparently, someone said that this version of the closed beta test, or I think that either they said the closed beta test will have it or the final product will have it, one of them, is going to have obviously a friends list, right? A friends list where you can add friends and you can like use it like that. But the fact that you can queue up into dungeons using the multiplayer to play others while users to fight harder dungeons is really good. So you can queue up now, rather than before you had to like go into their world and like do it. So maybe there may be a queue system. So you know, you want to stay in your world, you want to queue into a dungeon with some other players because the dungeon is harder. So you want to tackle like maybe like, I don't know, you're like level 50 and like you're at like the recommended level, but you want to have some other competent players there with you. Then y'all could jump in together. You could jump in with your friends or whatever. You all get inside the beta test and do it from there. Now the other betas were, I believe, cross-platform. So if you get inside the PS4 beta and your friend get inside the PS4 PC beta, there should be no problem with you guys playing, because I believe I tested it and I was playing with someone that was on a different device than me. I was on PC, and at the time I believe the other person I was playing, even though they were lagging a little bit more because obviously the phone is a little bit you know, not as good as the PC version, and it was the first beta at the time too. So yeah, expect cross-platform play, which is good. I would hope that there would be some filters, maybe. I don't know, some people like to like only filter it to like certain players or something like that, just to like stop certain like weird things from happening. So maybe the beta won't have filters, but the final product can probably like filter which players you want to see, or like maybe they could put icons to see like which device you want. Because remember, this game is coming out for both mobile devices, so Android, iPhone, PS4, PC, and Switch. So a lot of devices, a lot of crossplay. That's very good, you know, for something like this, especially since it's going to be like an open world single player experience with the ability to co-op, with the ability again to queue up for dungeons. That's very good. That means it's going to be a lot of players, a lot of player base on, especially since it's going to start off as a free-to-play game and probably have some monetization within it. Anyway, guys, that was a lot of information. Hope you got all that. Just a quick summary. So yeah, just a quick summary real quick. New elements, not new elements, but changes to the elements, new shields, new characters, expansion on the story coming. Yeah, new characters right there. And new artwork, new animations, and I think that was pretty much it. Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff to look forward to. Anyway, if you like anything I had to say, drop me a like. I greatly appreciate it. If you want to hear more from me, follow me on my socials. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you know the next video goes live. As always, my name is Daiken, and I'll see you next time. Signing out.